The views and opinions expressed by the hosts do not state or reflect those of the company and its management. Any assumptions, views, and insinuations made by the hosts or guests do not reflect those of the show, the management, and the network. Listener discretion is advised.
Warning. This podcast contains spoilers.
Third World Cinema Club.
We're almost near the end. We're wrapping up with a couple more films. Let's talk about a film that's somehow similar, or at least in this year, it was likened out to Call Me by Your Name. It's called Ete 85 or Summer of 85. It's directed by Francois Ozon, and it's about this teenager named Alexis, played by Felix Lefebvre, who who likes to ride on boats until eventually there was one instance wherein the boat capsizes and he meets this man who saves his life called David. And basically the film talks about the things that happened to David and how Alexis is coming into terms with the events that transpired. Yan. So, ikaw, Doc, what are your thoughts on Summer of 85?
Summer of 85, a lot of it feels like Ozon's early filmography in the early 90s, especially one of his, ano nga ba yung title ng film na yan? Wait lang, search ko. A Summer Dress, yeah, that one. It's a short film from 96. And it's based on this film is based on a novel, if I'm not mistaken. Dance on My Grave by Aidan Chambers. Meron siyang parang YA kind of feel to it, no? It's a very interesting look din at it's a very hindi naman an interesting look. It's a very nice romance between these two men, and they're pero it feels very light to me. Ayun, I'm having trouble articulating my feelings. Pero yun, para siyang napakagaan lang niya. And it's a pleasant watch naman. Although certain elements of it I don't exactly agree with. Parang the flashbacks bring a gravity to the proceedings na hindi naman technically kailangan. I mean, it could have played this straight and it would have been fine. Ayun. Actually, yun lang. Great performances by all of the actors. And this film is really, 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 really well shot. Especially dun sa mga flashback sequences. I think it was shot on film. And I enjoyed it a lot. Yan. Guys?
Ayun. For me, I think this is one of my favorite films of the lineup for TIFF this year. Kasi for me, I perceive it differently. More than I think I liked it more than I probably should have. Pero I liked how hindi naman siya absurd, but most of the things that they decide to do, or at least what David and Alexis decides to do towards the film, they're all questionable, but at the same time, it's also a reflection of youth. It's a mirror of youth and at least falling in love for the first time in forever. Especially with Alexis, that's what he's coming into terms with. There are times wherein it is meandering, in the sense that the approach is non-linear. That's why it ends up being meandering. But you feel connected with these characters, one way or another. You feel the heat between Alexis and David when they make love with each other. You feel the intensity between the two of them when they fight. Um, you feel connected to them. You're not supposed to, and I think that's what it is. I said it before. I think Summer of '85 is quote unquote a beautiful disaster. It's an elegy and at the same time an ode to youth and love, or at least the ideas of the characters, or yung isa sa mga sinabi ng characters, um, maybe you're not in love at all. Maybe you're in love with the idea of a person. Maybe that's the reason why um, you're so attached, and you're so connected to one person. It's because you're in love with the idea, or at least with the model or the concept that you're seeing. Because nakikita mo yung ideal person mo with this man or with this woman or whatever. And that's what kept me going. Even though at times I was really laughing towards many of the scenes that happened, kasi mapapaisip kayo, why did he do this? Bakit nila ginawa to? Parang many times it didn't make sense, but I think those things that weren't logical contributed even more to why I loved it. And the fact that it's supported by performances, especially by Felix Lefebvre, who killed it. Of course, pun not intended. I really think that Summer of '85 is something that many people should see. And this is probably a contrarian, pero I think I love this more than I ever did with Call Me by Your Name. Yan. So, ayan. Kuya Jim, ikaw, what are your thoughts on Summer of '85?
Actually, I agree with John kasi napanood ko rin yung A Summer Dress ni Ozon, yung short film niya during the 90s. And it's very, very, alam mo yun, parang bringing back to that short film itong Summer of '85. And then, okay naman. Although, ako kasi I like yung ginawa ni Ozon last year, yung By the Grace of God, done this, itong Summer of '85. Pero, decent movie naman itong Summer of '85. It's just that may mga part lang na, yun, same with, I agree din with John na parang may mga flashback na parang hindi na necessary or hindi na helpful dun sa overall na film. And then ano pa ba? Natatawa lang kasi ako dahil may tinuloy niya talaga yung pagsasayaw sa grave, 'di ba? I remember a horror film titled Grave Dancers, starring Dominic Purcell. So while watching that scene, natatawa na lang ako. Ganon. Ano pa ba? Ano masasabi ko sa film? Well, at first, parang nandun yung perception na, okay, parang Call Me By Your Name ito. Pero hindi siya hindi siya yung Call Me By Your Name. It's a different story. Tapos may pa, 'di ba? May involved pa na death, ganon. And just like what you said, Rafi, I like yung sinabi nung female character, yung isang female character doon na yung character ni Felix, parang he felt in love with the idea of a person, not because of tawag dito, not because of the friendship or whatever na nabuo sa kanila while having fun with each other, 'di ba? So yun, parang yun nga, ang maganda naman sa film is that pinakita doon yung young love, ganun. Kasi 'di ba with yung character nga na ginampanan ni Felix Lefebvre, he doesn't know parang is innocent, ganun. So wala siyang alam with love, kung paano yung maramdaman, ganun. And then suddenly this very charming boy na Borta, 'di ba? Sino ba naman ang 'di ba, hindi magkakagusto, and then he's giving attention to the character of Felix nga, 'di ba? So parang okay, I got I got his point, 'di ba, na oo nga, magkakagusto rin ako sa taong to. However, 'di ba, David suddenly said na nabobored na siya because parang same na lang, ganun. Tapos 'di ba, that's the point where nagkaroon ng tawag dito, nagkaroon na ng turning point dun sa film or pivotal moment ng film eh. And I think basically yun lang. Wala na ako ibang masabi. Okay lang. Yun, I find it okay. The film is okay.
Yan. And Kuya Rolando, your thoughts on Summer of 85?
So, I really like it and I think masyado nag-enjoy si Ozon sa paggawa na to the point na hindi na siya nag-care na meron siya na-include na hindi na mga kailangan. Katulad dun sa morgue, I don't think that's needed. Yun. Parang may mga iba pang scene na pwede nang alisin. We got the point already. Pero I think it's a sweet film. I mean, it's a refreshing film. And as I've said, I'm happy na hindi natin siya ma-associate na sa Call Me By Your Name because it went to a different narrative trajectory and I like it that way na hindi ko masasabi na it's similar to this scene or to this conflict. It's totally different and I enjoyed it that way, uniquely that way.
Oh my God.
Gusto ko yung
Sorry,
napo-frustrate siya pero very calm pa rin. Parang, hello, ganun.
A voice of reason.
Oo.
Sabi ko sana kanina, call me by your boat.
Parang hindi ko to napanood in full. I tried to, kaya lang, noong time na yung internet ko naman ang nasisira. Pero may napansin nga akong eksena doon na may boat, kaya nagets ko yung
Yung the metaphor ganun. Pero it's fun. I mean, I agree that Ozon had a lot of fun. Feel ko na to make this. And ayun, I hope a lot of people watch it.
Speaking of, a lot of people, there was one film that not many people were able to see, specifically because of the limited availability of the film. It's called The Father. This is based on the French play written by Florian Zeller, who happens to also be the director of the film. And it's about this man portrayed by Anthony Hopkins, who is on the advanced stages now of dementia. And throughout the film, we're just seeing how, his character descends to, that mental illness, along with his daughter, portrayed by the wonderful Olivia Colman, and other more supporting characters that would contribute to his story. So, ayun. Ate Ses, I know you've seen The Father. What are your thoughts about it?
It's my first time to see Florian. Anong nga last name niya? Sorry. Talang.
Zeller.
Ayun. Basta siya. His film for the first time. And it's a really good film to see in broad daylight. Especially since I miss seeing Anthony Hopkins play larger than life roles. Kasi parang a lot of kids today, they know him as tatay ni Thor. Guys, hindi po siya tatay ni Thor lang. Ganon, he's a really, really good actor. English actor. And one thing that I love about this film is that it's like a theater play. And maganda rin yung way, yung means on how to, keep everything very minimal, pero sobrang bigat ng film. If Rolando had his tears holding him back dun sa isang film, ako ito yung tears talagang hindi ko mapigilang sarili ko. Sobrang ganda nung execution nung storya. So it's about this guy, parang sinay na siya, and then it's like a cross between reality and his perception of things then. So since he's aging, or ageism is very rampant here, but in a good way. So, it's really disheartening to see films that discuss the human condition in which, people tend to lose their memories, or, they're going
too old too fast. Ayun. And for an actor with with such caliber, ang alam ko kasi kay Anthony Hopkins, ang previous sa kanya is that he really has a good memory. He likes memorizing poems every week just to retain that memory. So to see him in a contrast here is really brilliant. So if ever this gets released sometime this year or next year, I think a lot of people will definitely come and see it because it's relatable. Especially here in the Philippines, we like to take care of our grandparents, our moms and dads, or uncles or aunts na sobrang old na, tas yun nga, parang wala na masyadong comfort. Ganyan. So yun. So I really, really like it. I hope to see more films starring Anthony Hopkins even more and Olivia Colman and the two other actors.
I agree, no, Ate Seth, that when you brought up close family ties, this is something that many Filipinos would easily relate to and eat up because I agree then with what you said that it's very much like a theatrical play. And funny, no, this is Florian Zeller's directorial debut as a film director because he really is a playwright. He, because he's I think the contributory factor kung bakit ganun yung set na and what do you call this? He's directed in the past this adaptation of what has previously written a decade ago or something. And the father yourself with the characters, si Anthony and Anne, or by Anthony Hopkins. Ayan, so going back, ulitin ko na lang din yung sinabi ko. The father is, set up that way mainly because it's based on, what do you call this, a play. Coincidentally, directed by Florian Zeller. Ang funny that this is his directorial debut and at the same time, it almost feels like he's a master of filmmaking already. So it just goes to show that, making plays and, making films aren't totally different from each other. They're almost of the same vein. At first, I really thought that it was like this, 2016 film by August Wilson. It's called Fences, directed by Denzel Washington. Because that film is set up like a, like a play then of sorts, because it's it's based on the iconic play by August Wilson. But what Fences wasn't able to accomplish, the father gets to accomplish. And you get to, in the first part kasi, it's established how endearing the characters are from Anthony to Anne. So Anthony played by, of course, Anthony, and Anne portrayed by Olivia Colman. You get to connect with these characters until, the conflict arises, to chaos. Or at least the chaotic tendency. And you feel for these characters, you empathize with them, you understand why this is going on. But it's very painful to watch. It's almost like a horror film, if I may say. Kasi, tawag dito, who would ever want to experience such a thing, losing your memory, losing everything that you've ever loved head. And towards the end, the last 30 minutes of the film, I was already, my eyes were already damp, pero tuloy-tuloy na lang akong humahagulgol because it reminded me so much of my grandmother, whom, although she didn't really have dementia, but seeing her become lifeless, towards the last few years of her life, it reminded me so much of that. And to me, I feel like many people should watch this and many people should, acknowledge why this film is critically acclaimed. And to me, although I've said this already to a lot of people, Anthony Hopkins is already a lock, in my opinion, for that Best Actor nomination, if not a Best Actor win. And
All right.
Okay. Kuya Rolando, your thoughts?
So, yeah, bukod dun sa mga sinabi nyo, I like the way the film towards the end shifted in a more emotional tone. Because at the start, for example, you didn't read anything about the film. You will thought that, is this a psychological thriller, or like a Black Mirror episode, what's happening? And then you will later find out that it's the perspective of someone which is very interesting. And then towards the end, the film plays with our emotion because we see how Anthony Hopkins struggles with the disease and how he sees different people from different timelines and different parts of his life na nahahalo-halo na and hindi niya ma-recognize. And in the end, we knew that these garbled images in his memory are attributed to his random experiences, and it's quite a touching moment because we know that one day it could occur to us. And I'm sure sa mga family, especially in Filipino context, meron tayong term na tinatawag na nauulyanin na, and pieces of this we have seen this with our grandmothers or grandfathers, and I kind of remember their struggles of how they retrieve their memories kapag nahihirapan sila mag-recall. And I think this is a perfect picture para ma-immerse ng audience yung sarili nila on what will happen if you have this disease. How would you understand them? Because almost all of the films about the dementia, it was told on the perspective of the outsider or the people who's taking care of the person. And I think this is a very good outlook or insight on how we take a look at this disease differently.
Okay. Hello? Ay, wala si Rafi. Okay, John, how about you? Have you seen this, the father?
Unfortunately, I haven't seen all of it. So I can only comment on what I've watched, which is like siguro mga 30 or 45 minutes max the film. I agree na it's a very, very excellent performance from Anthony Hopkins. And I've dealt with patients who have developed dementia before. And in fairness, na-capture niya yung essence nun. And also the depiction of the disorientation people experience when they're trying to, probe their memories, kung sino ba kausap nila, bakit nag-iiba tong taong to, bakit hindi ko kilala to, ano ba ginagawa ko. Yung mga things na yun it's a really remarkable depiction, cinematic depiction, that even though it's structured like a play, it doesn't feel exactly like a play on film. Parang it uses naman the language of film to tell its story. So, hanggang dun lang siguro kasi yun nga, hindi ko siya natapos. Ay, hindi ko siya naumpisahan pala, sorry. Yun.
But I think okay lang kasi the first part was just him in getting the symptoms without us, having to go back to flashbacks and all. So, okay naman yun. I think, this is the kind of film then na parang even if you sit out on it for like 10 minutes and get back to it, it's still gonna be the same plot. Which is why it helps if, I guess, the filmmaker is more experienced in theater. Kasi sa theater, it's a very relived experience. Alam mo na parang it's very actual. So, whether you go take a 5-minute break or not, nothing's gonna change because everything's moving. Diba? And they're still following a similar plot line or flow. So, ayun.
That's it. That's the end of this episode. Thank you so much for listening. This would not be made possible without your support, and of course with the help of Cudburn Podcast Network's team, headed by Patricia Marie Ferrer, Network and Podcast Manager Ellie Kirong-Cole, Social Media Manager Rowan Palomares, Business Development Team Lead Lee Lirio, and from the creative side, Christina Lido and Andre Luis Castillo Ibanez. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Stitcher, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, or wherever else you get your podcasts from.
Third World Cinema Club.